Hello best learners, this is Mustafa here at Learn with the Best, and today we're going to be discussing Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power. Law number 46, never appear too perfect. In this video, I'm going to define the law for you, and then we're going to look at a very scary story from my past, from when I was a child, and we'll finish up by going into a deep analysis of this law. Here's the law. Appearing better than others is always dangerous, but most dangerous of all is to appear to have no faults or weaknesses. Envy creates silent enemies. It is smart to occasionally display defects and admit to harmless vices in order to deflect envy and appear more human and appear to be more approachable. Only gods and the dead can seem perfect with impunity. So once upon a time, my dad used to be a good-looking guy in his 20s, and my mom and her sister both fell for my dad when they were all young. My dad obviously picked my mom, and so my mom's sister, my aunt, right, she settled for another guy in their group of friends. For the purposes of this video, let's call that guy John. My mom and my dad got married, and my aunt and this guy named John also got married. John always knew that my aunt preferred my dad at the beginning, and so you can just imagine the lifelong envy that situation had created, really planting a green seed of envy in John's very soul. So my aunt and John had a baby, and then 3 months later, my parents had me. I have memories from when I was a kid, probably like 5-6 years old. I remember John always hating me, and of course at the time I didn't even know what was really going on, but I could just sense the presence of this man. I could feel the danger emitting from his very being. Anyway, since John was the second choice beta for my aunt that she had really just settled for, he always felt like he had something to prove to the world. And so in his twisted mind, he would set up these little tests between me and my cousin to see which offspring was more alpha, so to speak. One type of a test that he set up for us was for us to stand back to back to see which one of us was taller. And this is me and my cousin, right? Me, the offspring of my parents, and my cousin, the offspring of John and my aunt. And remember, I'm 3 months younger than my cousin, so obviously he would always be slightly taller. And so this would make John radiate with joy, just because his offspring was a little bit taller than me. Yeah, I know how crazy stupid that sounds, but wait, John does get even more pathetic. As soon as my cousin and I were old enough to run, John would have us racing against each other because he wanted to see which one of us was faster. And again, I was the slower one because my cousin had an extra 3 months of growth on me, and as a kid, obviously those 3 months really do matter. The man just didn't seem to understand the age difference part of the equation, and so he would always be ecstatic with joy that his son was taller and faster than me. And in his very own pathetic sort of a way, John was trying to make his case that no, he wasn't a beta, and that his offspring was superior than that of my dad's. My dad, who both sisters gravitated towards when they were all younger. You see, to John, my dad appeared too perfect. Eventually, my mom and my aunt caught on to what John was really doing, and my mom wanted nothing to do with this man in our family from that point forward. She didn't want him anywhere near me, and my aunt ended up divorcing him. Surprise, surprise. And thankfully, I never had to see this man again. But reviewing this law and looking back at it, I'm thinking, what if I were 3 months older than my cousin instead of him being 3 months older than me, right? Then I would have always been slightly taller, and I would have always been winning those races. It's so scary to think about it now, because if that would have been the case, then I tremble just thinking about how John would have reacted. At one point, after my aunt divorced him, John had called my parents and left a voicemail on the answering machine, blaming my dad for the divorce and threatening to end his life. That's how twisted the man had become, with that little seed of envy growing into a giant poisonous tree of hate. And with this real life example from my very own past, you can observe how envy grows and festers in the hearts of men and how it can destroy people's lives. Instead of letting his envy eat away at him and ruin his marriage, John could have chosen to walk the path of self-improvement. He could have deflected his envy and used it to push himself to improve. He could have worked on his scrawny little body. He could have worked on his social skills. He could have worked on getting a better job or a better career. He could have done many things to improve his own lot in life. But instead, he let his heart become completely corrupt with the deadly sin of envy. So, in order to protect yourself from these types of men who have small bearings, you want to never appear to be too perfect. Now, let's analyze this law. But before we do that, I need your help with YouTube's algorithm. Please smash that thumbs up button below, because if you don't, then YouTube is simply not going to show this video to anyone else. Please also subscribe and click on the bell icon, because if you don't, then again, YouTube won't let you know when a new video is uploaded. And if you want to transform yourself from a lamb to a lion, then check out my course pinned in the top comment below. I will teach you the tools that you need for success, but you have to actually step up and put in the work on yourself. This course is not for everyone because the majority of the population are sheep. But for those very few of us who do want to walk the path of a lion, this is the course for you. Okay, back to the video. So what do we do when there are people who are green with envy all around us as soon as they see an iota of success in our lives? Whether that success comes from business, relationships, health, well-being, or whatever, it doesn't matter. People can be envious of you over anything. You gotta size them up and gauge how much envy there really is. If it's something that you suspect could grow and turn into a problem later on, then the best and safest thing for you to do is to cut all ties with that person. On the other hand, if the envy is growing in the hearts of those who are extremely close to you, like your parents, your siblings, your children, then it's best to not reveal your success. If it's something that can stay hidden, then keep it hidden. If the success must be revealed by its very nature, then play it off as not really being all that big of a deal as it may appear to be, or play off your success as just plain luck. Let's take, for example, two old brothers, okay? One of them in his 70s and healthy with no illnesses. The other in his 50s, always getting sick, having chronic knee pain, and just had a rough life. The younger one asks the older one, "Oh, so you're in good health, huh? No problems." And he's asking this for the third time in 1 year. Obviously, the younger one is envious of the older one's health. So how should the older brother respond? Make something up. He should make something up. He should say he's having some sort of a health issue, and that simple response will alleviate the envy that's growing in his younger brother's heart. Very quick and very easy. Now say you have a friend, you're both the same age, went to the same schools, grew up together, studied the same things in college, and now you're making $150,000 a year while he's making $50,000 a year. Obviously, if he finds out how much you're making, the envy is going to run rampant. So keep that information to yourself and do not tell him how much you're making. If it does come out, then study his response, his verbals along with his non-verbals. If you feel this could turn into something dangerous, then cut ties. So in closing, this is a very good defensive law that everyone should wear like a layer of armor, especially those of us who are in the self-improvement community, because if you're truly on the path, then there will be people all around you that are seething with envy at the very scent of your success. I can sit here and make this video last 10 hours with the many stories I have about how people who were close to me and turned green with envy at the drop of a hat when they saw me being successful in anything from relationships to studies or in business. You have to learn to be slick with your success. It is not something to be worn for all to see, because it will create enemies that you may not even see coming. By all means, please be a lion. Be a ferocious lion when it comes to your goals and your dreams and your path to success. Plan, strategize, and take your bounty with no apologies. But do not go about flaunting that success, because it will create enemies. It is far easier and far safer to keep your success to yourself. If you like my YouTube content and you want to support me and support the creation of more content, then please check out my Patreon link pinned in the top comment below. I upload new videos every Friday for my Patreon subscribers that go deeper into my life regarding the 48 laws. These videos are a bit more raw and untamed than my usual videos here on YouTube. And if you're a patron of mine already, then I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because it's people like you that truly make all of this even possible in the first place. I hope you enjoyed this animated video on Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power. Law number 46, never appear too perfect. And remember, you only retain about 10% of what you learned the first time around. So watch this video through a few times and then come back to it again and again in order to really understand and ingrain all of the material into your mind. Thank you, and I'll see you next time for Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power, Law number 47. I did this video after having just recovered from the flu, so my voice is a little shot, but I hope it came across okay in this video. Okay, thanks again, take care, I'll see you in the next one.